Welcome to another episode of the Westside Live, the show that highlights the very, very best part of the Westside district. And today we are joined by the incredible Sahar from Qavali, one of Westside's independent restaurants filled with lots of culture, amazing food and so much more. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So can you provide a bit of an overview of the business and what does it entail?
So we are an Indo-Persian restaurant and cocktail bar. We have actually covered a whole region in the concept, which is one of a kind in the world, because we're looking at the whole journey from Turkey all the way to the Indian subcontinent and touching on Iran, ancient Persia, and Afghanistan, etc., which is all within the same region. In that respect, that kind of sets us aside to many other concepts within our category.
Absolutely, and I think that's incredible because Birmingham is such a diverse place, isn't it? And I think it's so nice that there is a space that, you know, is so lovely and filled with culture and, yeah, amazing.
And how long have you been operating?
So we opened in November 2021, and the concept, however, we were thinking up like pre-COVID. So it was delayed once we were hit by COVID, and then after that we were able to actually go in full steam.
Yeah, and COVID was such a challenge, wasn't it, for a lot of the businesses in there?
So many of the businesses didn't even survive COVID, so it's absolutely fantastic that you had your concept before COVID.
Yeah.
And it's basically been birthed throughout COVID. That's amazing.
Absolutely
amazing.
So as an independent restaurant, we love independent restaurants, don't we? Because we just feel that it's that people that they have a real passion and a desire for what they do. They don't just do it for the sake of it, and we love that. So what sort of challenges do you feel that you might face as an independent restaurant, especially within the hospitality sector in Birmingham?
I feel like it's challenges that a lot of independents across the country probably face, which is that consumers sometimes are more likely to kind of navigate towards familiarity. So a brand or a name that they are already aware of. So they don't want to take risk of going somewhere that they're not so familiar with. But that's something that I feel as a city we need to work on, and we need to support our independents more and take that risk, because if we want to build our city, become more of a stronger voice throughout the country, and also start to be the type of place that exports its brands out rather than is always on the receiving end, then we need to, as Brummies, essentially go out and support our independence. And that's literally a conscious choice I make every day. Yeah. Whenever a friend is visiting from out of town or out of the country, I always take them to our independence, whether it's, you know, Qavali or, you know, Smoke and Ash in Edgbaston, or I don't know, we know like Isaac's in Cornwall Road. There's so many independent kind of Birmingham-born brands that we should support, and often they're kind of we're overshadowed, I would say, by the big boys who have more funding, more, you know, bigger teams that can get that exposure that we struggle to get sometimes.
Absolutely. You know, I think, as you rightfully hit the nail on the head, I think people often kind of stick with familiarity, but it's so nice to experience something new. And I think Birmingham has just such a wide range of eateries. And not
quite spoilt, really, aren't we?
We're really spoilt, aren't we?
Yeah.
Amazing places to eat.
And especially in this area, there are so many different types of restaurants, and yours is very, very different. And how was your restaurant affected by the pandemic and the rising costs of living? How has that affected you guys?
Well, it's heavily affected in terms of our running costs, essentially, the bottom line. We have to kind of consistently reinvent ourselves, encourage, you know, the wider area and people to come and visit us and choose us to spend their special moments and special occasions with us. It also limits us in terms of menu choices or what we would say put in a menu. It's about kind of being creative about ingredient uses, reducing waste as much as we can, which of course is great for the planet anyway.
Absolutely.
But it's about, you know, getting more creative and innovative about how we kind of position ourselves.
Because when people come and spend in your restaurant, they need to feel that they definitely want to come back there again, don't they? Because if you've got, because people have to be so careful about how they spend their money, but I find that when people have gone to Qavali, they've always said that it was worth the money.
Absolutely.
So,
please.
yeah.
I mean, we have a colleague
great
that went
feedback.
to Qavali.
To our managers, actually.
And they
Yeah.
couldn't speak any more highly of it.
Yeah.
The experience from when they went in, the food, the customer service was
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So what do you think can be done to support independent businesses more? Because as we've already touched on, there is a wide range of independent businesses in the area, in Westside in particular. But what more do you think could be done to, support independent businesses?
I think most of it needs to be done at grassroots level, perhaps. I think sometimes if it's just a top level trying to impose something, it doesn't always necessarily work. A project that actually we're working on, which is new, is a independent kind of Birmingham restaurants magazine. And we're thinking of using that as a print magazine concept. It will have digital presence too, but a print magazine that will include all independents in the city and raise the voice of different, amazing concepts. I mean, even for example, Othim Akhtar Islam and the incredible, impact he's had on the city.
It's been huge.
So we would want to include him. And then whilst we have Qavali, and we've recently opened Baluchi as well in Edgbaston, Fahim Badur, who's our CEO, he has many other concepts, independent within the city, again, making a real huge mark for the city. So these are all excellent kind of concepts and individuals that are not really sung enough, and this would be an opportunity to do that. So in terms of top level impact, I mean, whether there was an incentive for consumers to go to independence, whether that's something the local authorities would get involved in. I know that politics and business sometimes don't mix
go
very
hand in
well.
hand.
Yeah, but I think if there was an incentive to encourage that, it would help. Again, there are a lot of platforms out there that try to push consumers to independence more, but it's challenging. It's still something that has to be consistently worked on. And
Yeah, it's so true. But I think one thing about Brummies is that we do support each other. I think there's a real community spirit, and I think when there is a mutual goal, I think people really just want to chip in and support and kind of do what they can to kind of see businesses thrive. And not only that, I think especially off the back of the Commonwealth Games as well, which was an amazing event, I think people really saw what we get to see every day, the wonder what Birmingham is. And I think we're a great city.
Now, I've heard about this amazing afternoon tea.
you must come soon.
Yes.
I haven't been yet, but can you tell me all about that, please?
So our afternoon tea is Indo-Persian again. So the kind of flavors and sweet treats we have are taken from the region essentially. So for instance, we have baklava, we have our Persian love brownie, which is a Persian take on a brownie because it has pistachio and rose.
Oh my God. That sounds amazing.
And again, the kind of savory is more taken from things like hummus, falafel, or ingredients and dishes.
You don't
from
actually
our
have little
region.
sandwiches there?
We do,
You do?
yeah. So it's all pretty much like a traditional afternoon tea, but with Indo-Persian flavors. It's interesting though, because when we first decided to do afternoon tea, everyone was asking me afternoon tea is not Indo-Persian. Why are you doing afternoon tea? That's so English. I was like, no, actually, we do
We're
have.
teasing.
Absolutely.
So Indo-Persian culture has an afternoon tea kind of culture, let's say, where in the evenings, even my grandmother, she would have her fruits and her sandwiches and cheese with tea, and that was her afternoon tea.
I love that.
So it's actually something that's very authentic to us. So I said, guys,
Amazing.
we're
we can do it too.
We've got this.
It sounds like, from what you've just said, that you must cater really well for the vegans and the vegetarians
We
and
do,
the other people with all their other little things like I don't know,
Gluten-free.
and all of that.
There's so much.
Nuts allergy.
So
There's
on the
so
whole,
many.
do you cater for all those things really well in your restaurant?
We do cater for all to the best of our ability. It's sometimes really challenging, especially nut allergy is a dangerous one.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because
Very much so.
people can die if they're
That's right.
So we try our best but to cater for everyone. As long as there's advance notice, there's never an issue. In fact, in our new concept, Baluchi in Edgbaston, it's a tasting menu. So so it's a set tasting menu, although we have now launched an a la carte. But it's interesting because through that we realized how many people actually do have dietary requirements and allergies and
it's very trendy, isn't it? Having a dietary.
it's very trendy.
It's like the new trend.
It's so true.
I can't eat this, and this.
It's so true.
Oh my God. So what would you say people can expect when dining at Qavali? You know, they come through the doors and what do they expect? What they're going to get?
So I think the most important thing is the warmth of the hospitality and the love we give at Qavali. That's actually the cornerstone of everything we do. And I love that you guys mentioned our team were really good when you visited and how they were like family. That's extremely important to us, not just because as our culture and the culture we are expressing is all about warmth and hospitality. Like the guest comes first and you are there to literally serve the guest. And in terms, and myself, I came from environments where working environments were very toxic. So at Qavali, one thing I'm always mindful of is there issues? Is everyone happy? And once they're happy,
It really
100%. And once our team is happy, we know that they will make sure the guests are happy.
Absolutely.
But the warmth of our culture, the love, the hospitality, that is literally the number one thing. So for me, if a guest goes in and they come out feeling upset, that upsets me because that's not why we're there. We're there to make you feel happier than when you came in.
That's
Leave you
amazing.
feeling better.
That's amazing. And I do think with just touching on your team, you often spend more time with your work colleagues than you do with your family. So you've got to like them. I mean, I see you sometimes more than I do my own mum, you know. And I do really love you, you know, so it works.
It's
and not only that,
important.
I think when your team, they're fed, they're watered, they're happy, I think their overall, you know, output is just so much better because they're happy, you know.
Absolutely.
It really does go a long way.
Yeah.
So I see you've got a couple of awards there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention them?
Talk to us about that.
Tell me about these awards.
So you know about this one.
Well, we do.
See, that's when I got to make your fantastic team. When they got that award for most luxurious restaurants on Westside at our Wows event. Your team, when I met them, they're amazing, absolutely amazing, very warm, very loving, very family-like.
Very much so.
Honestly, and I mean that, they really were
I'm so
such a
pleased.
beautiful team. Nice
They are
looking guys
incredible.
too.
That also helps, yeah.
Helps. I think you go out of your way to make sure your staff look good.
Very, yeah.
Because when I went
Easy on the
there,
eye.
honestly, when you go to Qavali, they're very, very easy on the eye.
Wow.
Such a handsome, lovely smiles, and they're very, very beautiful inside and out.
Yeah.
You know, so that is lovely. And what was the other award?
So that one is by the British Restaurant Awards,
Wow.
and they gave us essentially the title for best restaurant in Birmingham
Wow.
for 23-24.
Just throws it in there casually.
Yeah.
You have to just been open for three, 4 short years.
And you've already got
Yeah.
that.
Wow,
Can you imagine what they're going to do in like 5-10 years?
amazing. Honestly,
Crazy,
amazing.
but it's absolutely, it's a real success story, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just shows what passion and
It is.
drive, you know, look what you can achieve,
fantastic.
look what you can
Thank
achieve.
you.
So what is like a shift like at Qavali? Like what's been like your most exciting, or, you know, what's been your most memorable shift at Qavali? Is any celebrities come in, or what's happened?
Yeah, we often get celebrities. We don't really disclose it because we want them to feel like they're coming in a space where their privacy is, respected, because usually that's what they want.
Of course.
We've had interesting shows like First Date filmed with us.
Yeah.
We've had Bollywood movies filmed at our space. Really, interesting and exciting, and for the team especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we've also had guests come to us for like proposals. I remember there was one, and he wanted to use our private dining area, which is for usually 20 guests. And I was like, well, for 2 people, we don't usually offer this space. And he said, actually, it's for a proposal, and I want to make it very special for her. So I was like, oh.
Did you try?
She said yes.
Well, yeah, that would be good. She did say yes.
She said
She said yes.
Oh, that's
It was beautiful. But again, something like that I would have loved to have put out there.
We could have
But
a
we
wedding
didn't.
reception there as well.
They
couldn't we?
could.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah, and the wedding office, registry office is only
Yeah,
around the
just down
corner,
the
so
road.
it's, we're convenient for that. We do get a lot of wedding guests.
That's totally right.
But that was beautiful, and he kind of decorated the space and put a sign up for her, "Will you marry me?" It was so cute. That was probably one memorable.
Romance isn't dead.
No,
It's still
romance
there,
is
clearly.
not.
didn't
No,
have to-
not at Qavali.
You didn't have to put the ring in the dessert then.
Oh yeah.
No.
What did you do? Did he get down on one knee? What did he do? Did you do? Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. He just like
Put it in
got down on one knee and had flowers on the table. It was very
That's so
cute.
sweet. A Westside love story. Eh?
Yeah.
That's another podcast on dinner. So
It's cute.
looking ahead, so where do you think Qavali will be within the next like 5 to 10 years? Because you've already achieved so much. So what's next for you guys?
Yeah. I think we want to be more of an all dining space. So for us at the moment, we're focusing on making us more accessible to all guests and consumers, ensuring everyone knows where we are, what we're doing. We recently opened, extended our opening hours, so we're open every day from 12 p.m. When we initially started, it felt like we had turned into like an evening venue. But we want to do more than that and kind of be there for guests at all times for their special occasions.
Absolutely. So you're open from 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's really good, because I think with a lot of the office trade coming back post COVID and you know working in the office, it's really good because they can grab some lunch whilst they're on
Exactly.
site. So what do you
Yeah.
have, any like lunch offers, or what sort of lunch menus do you have?
Yeah, so we have brunch, we have our afternoon tea, our bottomless brunch.
Okay.
We are launching a kind of breakfasty brunch menu as well soon.
Lovely. And we love a good
Yeah.
breakfast, don't we, Elaine?
Eventually.
We do. Well, yeah.
When you're
Once we're off our ice and grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then of course the usual a la carte is available at lunch hours too. So yeah, I think that making it more accessible and extending out our hours really helped. One challenge again with independents I find is that they have to be closed for like 3 days a week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays, they're closed, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. A lot of them across the board have this. And I feel that whilst they are saving on overheads by doing that, what it actually does is it puts consumers off sometimes, I feel. Because me, for example, I want to go there on a Monday and it's closed again. And I'm like, oh, so I'll have to go somewhere else. Then you end up going to a corporation.
Yeah.
Why? Because they can afford to be open all the time.
Yeah,
But then you get
absolutely.
used to going there, and then before you know it, you forget that independent even existed.
Some of them almost. haven't
Yeah. So, but it's difficult because it's a catch-22 for independents.
Yeah.
We're saying we're just gonna do it and we're gonna push it and do what it takes.
they? Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, it's been so lovely to sit down and
been a
talk to
pleasure.
you,
Thank
and
you.
we're just so excited
We
for
are.
what the future holds for you guys. And it's just great to have them on Westside, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
honestly.
you.
It's,
Congratulations.
all-round fabulous restaurant.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Looking forward
Thank
to
you very
welcoming you
much.
guys again soon
Yes,
then.
it'll be very
Definitely.
soon. Thank you.
Take care.